All right, welcome back. Most Sports. You got me. You already know you got Tay, Dalen, D-Bird, Daywan, D-Black. Man, we got a playoff edition for you guys. We're going to talk about the playoffs today. Timestamp. KD dropped 49 last night. Different. That boy, and he played every single minute. That boy's different. And we got a lot of like off-season news happening today, like Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, Scott Brooks. Shout out to Scott Brooks. Thank you. You're finally gone. The NBA's been dropping bombs today, guys. So we're going to talk a lot about the NBA's and playoffs today. And shout out to my two guys. They covered a great piece on Russell Westbrook. So we'll have them talk on Russell Westbrook and the Wizards a little bit more. But yeah, to start it off, like I said, timestamp. KD dropped 49 last night and played every single minute. That boy is different. Super different.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't get a chance to even like watch the whole game. I was really following it on my phone. At first, I saw like the first couple minutes of it, and I seen the Bucks was, they was getting off on them as expected because Kyrie out, Harden was playing on one leg. But, there was a lot of chatter going on social media about, KD, he can't do this without Steph and Westbrook, and he always needs superstars to do his thing. And,
yeah, that was crazy. I kept hearing.
Mm-hmm. He answered the call, and KD deserves a lot of credit for that. But outside of that alone, man, I think people need to realize, man, we're witnessing, like, one of the greatest. He's already one of the top 15 to 10 greatest players ever right now, and he gave you one of the greatest performances ever. I think I saw a stat the other day that he was the only player to actually put those numbers up, get a 49-point triple-double, which is also incredible, amazing. But like you said, Tavon, the most like interesting and most like impactful thing about that game is he played every single minute of the game. That just shows you he was not going for it. Like, he had to get that dub. But yeah, shout out to KD.
He was the truth. He was the truth.
This was a legacy-defining game for Kevin Durant. And when the critics was, like you said, talking that talk, saying that he wasn't good enough to bring on the team, single-handedly win a game like this, and the nature of, the Bucks had the momentum, and they were, they won 2 straight, so it was tied. So if the Nets were to come back home in Game 5 and lose that game, that would have been bad. And I'm glad KD clearly rescued the Nets. If it was for KD, it would have been a blowout because, as you saw, the Nets were getting busy all first half, and then next you know, what elite players do best, they take over. And once KD, I tweeted this last night, once KD gets in that zone and he's in his bag, nobody in the league can stop him.
He's unstoppable.
He's literally a prolific scorer.
I want to comment, like you said, he's the best player in the league, and everybody was talking about this is his legacy on the line and all this. They even said about Giannis the same thing. It's like, bro, like, these are 2 great players that we just have. I feel like people are just underappreciative of them, and we get to watch this great battle. Like, Giannis is going to do his thing. He actually knows how to play ball. He's just a tall, big dude that's going to move you out the way until he has to show you his skill. And KD's just the opposite. He's going to show you his skill until it's like, give me the ball, I'm bullying everybody. And I've seen that a little bit in certain plays. He realized, okay, I don't need to try to finesse this player. I could just bully him. And that's what I want to see more of KD. I don't think it was a legacy-defining game, but I definitely think it was a game for KD just to be like, shut up. And Giannis to be like, shut up. Like, we balled our asses off, and we played a hard game, and us 2 alone kept our team in this game. It just came down to KD hitting that wild 3.
And shout out Jeff Green too, man. Uncle Jeff, he came through, had a career high 27 points, went 7 for 8 from 3. Like, those are 2 of DMV's finest right there, holding it down.
We can't forget
up in Brooklyn. So
shout out to Jeff Green. I like when y'all recognize the home team.
Yeah, the home team, bro. So they've been lifelong friends since the jump. So it's good that Jeff Green, who would be remiss if I didn't mention him because he had a career night in the playoffs last night. But back to KD real quick. KD is that dude, and Giannis is a dude, but he's not that dude yet. Like Giannis is
he's that
really
dude,
good,
but when you compare to
but
KD,
he's not elite because it showed when the world needed the superstar the most for the Nets, their superstar took over the game. When the Bucks needed their superstar to win them that game, when everything was going wrong, you saw what Giannis failed to do. Lack of making the free throws. He fumbled that last possession to tie the game. Basically had a dunk right there, and he had a turnover there.
I can't give you that. I can't give you that. He did lapse in the last few final clutch moments, and that's like unnecessary for a great player. Like, I don't want to take it away. Giannis isn't that dude yet, especially compared to LeBron, Steph, and KD. But he's the next up. He's the next
he's
up.
Not levels
to
it.
I feel like
and
after
this year, he's just not there yet.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like after this series, he's gonna mentally get better because the Miami series and all that last year, he didn't have anybody to battle with. He just felt like he was just running through the lane and doing his thing. And I feel like this year he has people to battle with. He has KD to battle with.
Yeah. Well, to piggyback off y'all a little bit, and I want to get on Giannis because Giannis been getting a lot of heat, and I feel like a lot of it's deservingly so. It's this thing about him being, one of the greatest or the greatest defender in the league, 2-time defensive player of the year. Thing is about that, when you're as a defender, you should pride yourself on stopping, the opposing team's best player, I feel like, my opinion. And you got this year, last season, the year before that with Kawhi, there's a pattern you're seeing that it seems like he's ducking the matchup. Because before this series even started, I was excited. I'm thinking, okay, you're going to have Drew and Kyrie matching up. You're going to have Middleton and Harden matching up. And then we're going to get Giannis and KD match up. And then, you get that ESPN notification. PJ Tucker is starting. He's going to be guarding KD. I'm like, that's not what we want to see. But okay, I understand. It's basketball.
I better say it's basketball,
No, I feel you. Let me get my point on. I feel it's basketball to, Coach Budenholzer, what I'm saying? I'm sure he had his own schemes or whatever, but at some point when you the star, man, when the opposing player is the best player is like giving y'all buckets, man, you gotta go up there and try and at least stop him. I'm not saying he could. It's KD. I get it. It's hard to stop him. I don't know y'all remember that one year with Lou Williams was talking about we tried. And that's all you can ask for is trying, because you never know. But it's the fact that this dude is standing in the corner, not even like trying to get switched on him to get a crack at it late in games. And I feel like that's something Giannis has to, assess, self-evaluate himself and say, okay, I'm supposed to be this, this great defensive player. I should be able to guard guys one-on-one, especially a guy like KD, because they match up well. They're around the same height. Giannis is more physical. And like one of the things you hear about, the best way if you're trying to slow down KD is get physical with him. And I feel like Giannis, he missed that opportunity. But hopefully, because I seen something earlier today that he's going to take that matchup up. The series ain't over. So hopefully, hopefully he steps up to the plate. But outside of that, I really got to get on Coach, though, because I think that's a coaching thing as well.
That's what I was about to say. I said that on Twitter earlier. I was like, I understand your frustration, but his position is to guard his position. Now, PJ Tucker is the 3 or whatever, and that's KD's position. KD's the 4, and that's Joe Harris' position right now. So Giannis has to guard him. But it's the coaches. Like, the coach can easily say, like, obviously, Chris Middleton, you can guard Joe Harris or James Harden, but Giannis, you're on him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I give it to the coach. But yeah, we gotta get this thing moving. Let's go ahead and talk about the Wizards and Russell Westbrook's triple-double. I'm gonna go ahead and let you two take it over, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut my video off for the rest of the scene.
All right, you wanna go first, Dalen?
Yes, sir. Yeah, what a season for Russ individually. Became the all-time leader in triple-doubles. So shout out to him for passing the big O, Oscar Robertson. It was a great year for him because, going into this year, he was injured a lot in Houston, and people, even the start of the season, Russ wasn't looking like himself. Like, to be honest, he was looking really bad. And having, all the turnovers, and the team wasn't looking great. Then they had to pause for a couple weeks because of COVID. And then they got off to a 17-32 start. And then, after the All-Star break, they just flipped the switch and just really turned up on the whole league, had one of the best records in the league. And primarily, a lot of those wins and success that the Wizards had in the second half of the season came from the Russell Westbrook. So, in all honesty, and you put the whole year in perspective individually for Russell, I think he had a relatively good year. This was a proven year to show that he still got something left in the tank. Russell's going to be Russ. You know what you're going to get from him each and every night. 100% effort. He's going to not take a possession off. And for better or for worse, you know, he's going to lead your team. So Russell, he did his thing. And as you mentioned earlier, starting to show, Tay, that Scott Brooks got let go as the Wizards head coach. I think that was a great move because in order to maximize on Westbrook and Beal's window, you need to try everything possible. And these past couple of years, you know, we haven't even made it far in the playoffs. There's always been one series and then we're out. And it hasn't been pretty in those series as well. So I think it's the right decision that the Wizards organization has done. And I'm looking forward to seeing who will replace Scott Brooks and seeing how Beal and Westbrook, now that they will be well rested going into next season, how they will come out in the 2021-2022 season.
Yeah. Before I get into like my point, I gotta let the audience know where I'm coming from with this. I don't want to sound like I'm hating or anything like that. Cause listen, everybody who knows me knows I'm a big Miami Heat fan, but I'm also a big Wizards supporter too, being somebody that grew up in the DMV area. So of course I want to see not just the Wizards, but any, you know what I'm saying, DC sports team do well. And looking at the Wizards for like the past, decade, it's never been an issue of the stars. It's like with John Wall, Bradley Beal, it's always been a roster, front office, and even a coaching issue. So like at the beginning of the season when the John Wall and Westbrook trade went down, I'm not even gonna lie. Even now, I think that was one of the most pointless trades ever in like history because John Wall wasn't necessarily the problem. Like, yes, there was things John Wall could have done better as a leader, as a player, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, he was showing up. He was giving you all-star numbers. Same thing with Bradley Beal. And I always felt like those guys had a good chemistry and play together. The problem was the roster. The front office failed their two stars. They never got them a quality center to play the five. They never got a quality forward. I mean, when they had that one year, I think they had a decent starting five with Nene, Paul Pierce, and Gortat. But that team didn't get too far. I think it got like to the second round, if I'm correct. But it was always a matter of just, you know what I'm saying, building up the roster. And I don't understand what this front office is thinking. So I don't know. They thought, okay, if we just trade our star point guard for a better point guard, then yeah, we'll get a championship. And it's just like, no, look what Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook had to do to barely make the playoffs. Bradley Beal damn near led the league in scoring. Westbrook averaged a triple-double, and he didn't even make All-NBA team, which is crazy. But he damn near averaged a triple-double just to barely make the playoffs. And no disrespect to other Wizards fans. I see a lot of Wizards fans like, yeah, Westbrook.
Say, wait.
And it's like,
hold on now. You see that Bullets jersey in the back? What you about to say about my team?
I feel you on there. Yeah, nah, go ahead before I share my piece.
Yeah, but like my thing is like I feel like people their expectations are too low. Like, be honest with you, the Wizards did not meet my expectations this year. I had them at least going to the second round and getting kicked out. They only won one game in the first round. So for me, this season was a failure. But moving to Scott Brooks though, them moving away from Scott Brooks and looking for a new coach, I feel like this is a good start, but I just don't trust this Wizards front office. I just feel like they're going to somehow trick it up and just go for the more convenient coach instead of actually looking for a right coach that's going to know how to, you know, because one of my biggest things with Westbrook is even he plays phenomenal. He gives you 110% effort, but I feel like his biggest flaw is his decision-making down the stretch. He's gotten better at it over time, but that's always been his biggest flaw. And you need a coach to say, hey, Westbrook, slow the game down, because he likes to go 100 miles an hour no matter what point of the game it is, and sometimes it costs him games. So I feel like you got a coach in there, a good coach that say, Westbrook, slow the game down, run some plays, let's take some time off this clock and get quality shots so we can close this game. Then Westbrook will see more success in his career. You know what I mean? But that's a coaching thing. And hopefully, like I said, the Wizards fix this problem, bring the right coach in. But I honestly, I have low expectations for this front office, so we'll see about that.
And one quick point. Yeah, if whoever the coach is going to be next year, Bradley Beal, he's still in his prime. Like, he's in his prime, man. The time is ticking with him. I bet you he's contemplating, like, hey, if it doesn't work out next year with this new coach, and, if they don't do anything to the roster this offseason, and we have literally the same roster going into next year, we have similar results as we did this year, Bradley Beal is gone.
Bradley Beal to LA.
He's going to seek a trade, or he's not going to renew his contract, and he's going to go somewhere else to a winning championship. That's just my opinion on it. And I know
I completely agree with you on that one. Like, I feel Russell Westbrook will do the same. Like, I feel like Russ will actually give it another year and stick it out with Bradley. And they both gonna see if it works. I think that they'll definitely be heavily influenced on his coaching choice. I don't know who's out there that would be a good fit for Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook and our young stars. We have young stars that we need to develop too as well. So we can't just focus on them two when they're halfway outside the door. So definitely feel you on that. But Russell Westbrook, I feel like we gotta throw him in there. He's halfway out. Like, all right, I'll give you another year. But Bradley, he's tired. And you traded away John Wall. He's tired. He's ready to go. He just did all of this hard work in this fight, and he's not getting put in certain stuff because he plays for the Wizards. If he played for any other team, he would have been had all NBA, all whatever, multiple years in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with everything y'all was saying. But one coach that comes to mind for me, I feel like that deserves opportunity, is Chauncey Billups. I've seen his name float.
Chauncey Billups, he wants the right situation, though. He wants the right. I thought about that too, but there's not a lot of coaches that wants to come in a rebuilding situation.
You're right. That's what coach wants that, but at the same time, it's not too many jobs that's going to be open. But we'll see. I don't know what Chauncey Billups is thinking. I just think that would be a good opportunity for him, because at least you're walking to a situation with two bona fide superstars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it can only go up. It can only go up with the Wizards. One would think. Like, it can't get too much worse.
Can't get worse than this.
And I want to give it. I want a black man to be the coach of the Wizards. Like, I want to see more black head coaches, but I don't want to see them fail. Just like I don't want to see black head coaches go coach the Cleveland Browns or the New York Knicks. I don't want to see them fail because they're going to get scrutinized on a higher level. Just not to take it too far on that type of stuff. But yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. But and then we have to close out today's episode. Who do you guys think is going to pull through in the finals? Like, what do you think your finals matchup is? Now that we are here, because you remember what we did at the beginning of the season, we had our predictions, and if I don't want to go back to none of those episodes because all of us was wrong. The Lakers are gone. So who do y'all think is going to be in this finals, man?
I don't even know anymore, because this Kawhi, Chris Paul news changes everything. What's his name? Embiid playing hurt. It's hard, bro. We might mess around and see a Hawks and Utah Jazz finals, man. Like, I would not be surprised if that were to happen. But I honestly do not know. I feel like the team should be, the Nets or the Bucks getting out the East. Most likely the Bucks, because they're healthy. And on the West, probably the Jazz. It's like the two healthiest teams, really.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The two healthiest teams are going to make it to the finals. And the two healthiest teams necessarily may not be the two best teams on paper.
The two healthiest teams, the Jazz and the Bucks, that's going to be the most boringest finals ever this year. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the Bucks run through the Jazz.
The Bucks, first and foremost, the Bucks aren't going to make it. KD's going to handle that. Like,
thank you, David. KD's going to do his thing this year.
Games for 7. The NBA will be remiss to leave the Nets out for making it to the conference finals, because we have superstar talent like KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. They're going to at least the conference finals.
And then you got superstar talent in Blake Griffin.
Yeah, and Blake, he's doing his thing too a little bit. The role players have been stepping up for the Nets. It's not going to hold you. So it's not just the big three. It's obviously, the others, as Shaq would say. They're stepping up and doing their thing. But I mean, I still have the Nets going through, even though that's a little risky to say. I'm not as confident, but when you have a guy like KD on your team, and if you can get just either James or Kyrie in there, 2 out of 3, then they can beat the Suns, they can beat the Utah Jazz because of the caliber player. As far as the well-rounded team coming out of the West, as much as I do not want to say this, but it might be the Jazz. Like,
I don't like the Jazz either.
It might be the Jazz because Kawhi
It's gonna be the Jazz,
is the GOAT of the Clippers. Paul George cannot carry that team to the next round.
Whoa,
I don't care. It's
whoa,
Kawhi.
Wait. He can't carry it, but he could definitely do something against the Jazz. But he
If
just
it's
got to go
just
against
him,
Donovan Mitchell. He just got to go against Donovan Mitchell and, like you said, a few good role players and Rudy Gobert. We ain't gonna discredit Rudy Gobert publicly, but he just has to go. And Paul George is averaging almost 30 points without Kawhi Leonard this season.
Yeah, but it's hard to beat the Jazz at home.
It's hard to beat the Jazz because I said this the other day. I said the Jazz and the Suns remind me of the Spurs. They're the Spurs of the playoffs right now. They play very great basketball, and they don't rely on 1 or 2 people.
Exactly.
That's why I can't say the Clippers are going to win, but I just don't want to seem like it's going to be easy peasy because Kawhi's gone.
Yeah,
they're going to go down with a fight.
But I got the Suns coming out the West, though. I'm speaking into existence. They doing my favorite player, Chris Paul, so greasy, dog. But I feel like I have faith he's going to come back by the time. I hope the Clippers and them take it to 7, so Chris Paul got some time to come back. Because I need him on the Suns. I need the Suns to win. And I got the Suns and the Nets in the finals. And I got the Suns pulling it out and everybody trashing the Nets all summer. That's what I'm calling it. Chris Paul getting his first ring this year.
I got Jazz, Nets, but I would love to see Suns, Nets. And then to be honest, I don't know who's gonna win that.
You can't call it. I was saying, who y'all got winning? Y'all can't call it winning.
I can't call it, but if I was a Nets fan,
Jazz and Nets, I can't call it either.
I'm just still gonna rock with the Nets, just by the superstar power.
If it's Jazz and Nets, I think the Nets will overpower in 6. And I'm saying 6. I'm stern on 6.
Yeah,
I really don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. Like, for me, it really is looking like the healthiest team is just going to end up winning because I just don't know anymore. Like, y'all bring up good points, but like my thing is, even if, like, for example, the Nets make it out the series, and let's say Kyrie's still not playing and Harden is still whatever he is, and they end up playing Philly or the Hawks, I feel like, I would not be surprised if one of those teams could, make it tough for them and eventually like sneak out the conference finals above the Nets, because the Hawks, I feel like offensively they could go bucket for bucket with the Nets, because offensively they got a lot of, they're nuclear low key with all those shooters, and they don't do well in guarding the post. So I can see Clint Capella having a good series. And don't get me started on, it depends on Embiid's health too. But don't get me started on what Embiid could do. You know what I mean? But like you said, it's KD, and KD's heard the chatter. And, we seen what we always compare him like, well, LeBron can do it. Why can't KD? You know what I mean? So who knows? KD could just continue to play out of his mind and will this team to the finals too. So it's just like, I don't know, bro. I can't even like make a sound like prediction right now.
He said, I can't do it. I don't want to jinx myself or jinx nothing. And I feel you. I definitely forgot about Philly though. I forgot about Philly. We just giving the Nets the whole, like, imagine if KD has to play against Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons alone.
Yeah.
Man, that's barbecue chicken for KD.
That's barbecue chicken. What? For KD?
Man, KD going. KD, Embiid can't hold KD.
Embiid not going to guard KD. Embiid not going to guard KD. Ben's going to guard KD.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but
he's supposed to be the defensive player of the year.
Yeah. Because he actually guard people.
It's still barbecue chicken for KD. KD, but
because
I forgot about the Sixers. They're really the number 1 team in the East. On paper, power ranking.
I would love to see the Hawks win that series, though.
I would love to see Trae Young and Devin Booker do what Jason Tatum did a few years ago. Just be the young players shining in the playoffs and go to the finals or conference finals. I would love to see Trae Young do that. Especially all the, like, Trae Young, he gets a lot of, like, flack like for a young player. Like he
No
gets a lot. He gets like, and for no reason. Like he's the only like under 25 player that really gets heckled like that. Like Devin Booker doesn't even get heckled like that. Donovan Mitchell, people don't even claim him to be a young player. They love him. Like they don't even be like, oh, he's in year 3, year 4. Like he's the same age as these other guys, but y'all look at him like he's a certified vet. That's crazy. But Trae Young, I want to see him prevail. I just want to see him win. Even though I know it's hard to do, I just want to see him win. But man, you can't choose, D Black. Y'all can't choose.
It's hard, bro. All right, I'm gonna say this. No, if things go the way they're supposed to be, like right now with players hurt and say players get healthy and end up back, you know what I'm saying, the running, then yes, I got the Nets getting out. But if just more bad luck stuff seems to happen, bro, I don't know. It's like, because I was not expecting for that. Kawhi and Chris Paul news and Conley out and all these players, I just was not seeing that coming.
No, I definitely wasn't expecting the Chris Paul shit.
And a lot of these injuries, man, I think stems from having this short season. But I'm not gonna go too in depth on that. But like having that condensed schedule to where they didn't have the appropriate amount of time to rest, you're starting to catch up on the back end. You know what I'm saying?
True. I agree.
It could be just fate that this is happening, but like I feel like it also comes down to not having the adequate amount of time to really recharge the batteries, get that appropriate off season due to, you know, a condensed schedule. So, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what they say, champions don't have excuses, and they just got persevere and push through. So, may the best, healthiest team win.
I think
win it all.
You said what?
I just really hope the Jazz don't win it all. Like, I really don't care who wins. I just don't want the Jazz to win.
I want Donovan Mitchell and Dwayne Wade to succeed, but I definitely don't want the Jazz.
But I can say that. I want to see Donovan. Listen, I like Donovan.
Look, you got Wade back there.
I don't like the talk around Donovan Mitchell. Like I get him and Wade are similar players, but he's not D Wade 2.0. No, I'm saying
this is how we ended it.
No, I'm saying this. I'm saying like yes, they're similar players. I get that they're both undersized 2-guard, athletic. You know what I'm saying, dogs. But it's the 2.0 that bothers me because 2.0 is implying he's better. And I'm like, no, he's not better because I could dissect this whole game and tell you why
he's not better. But also, like today's game, it was a point I wanted to say this on earlier. Today's game has way better athletes than prior to. So LeBron coming in early in the league. You feel me? Like, if Donovan Mitchell was back then with folks that was just as slow as them, they'd be killing them. Yeah. A lot of players would. So I don't like using that argument. And in today's game, I wouldn't say the 2.0 is necessarily meaning he's better. I just think that's just their easy way, simple way of just saying it on air without going to a junior or the next one. I don't want to hear the next D-Wade.
You could just say he's the next. You could say he's the next D-Wade. You could say he's today's D-Wade.
Today's D-Wade. Just like we be like, oh, Kobe, today's Jordan. Like,
yeah, that's a good comparison. That's a great comparison. He's like,
that's what I thought you was going with.
Yeah, what Kobe is the MJ, that's what Donovan Mitchell is the D-Wade. Because it's like you can't. They're two separate players. Like Donovan Mitchell shoots way better than D-Wade.
He's a way better shooter than Dwayne Wade. Yes. But Dwayne Wade's a way better slasher.
Yes. You feel me? Yeah.
All right, D-Bird, you got any closing thoughts you want us to touch on real quick? Last 5 minutes.
My man, this was a great episode here. We talked about NBA playoffs, gave our predictions as to who we think is going to push through to win that championship. Talked a little bit about Russell Westbrook and the Wizards and stuff like that. So this was a impactful, big episode here with a lot of NBA news going on. So be sure to stay tapped into the Game One podcast on socials. Let us know what you think, what we should cover, and feel free to like, share, comment, spread the good word around about what we doing over here at Mo Boombox. You see the shirt, go cop your merch while you at it too.
Yeah, you sign up, you join the team, you might get a discount on some merch, man. But like you said, man, make sure you follow us, Mo Sports, Mo Boombox, Game One podcast. We're gonna continue delivering good arguments, good debates, good conversation, man. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and close it out on that.